All right, Matty, welcome back to the Ask Matty Show. Matty, how are you feeling?
I'm doing great. How are you today, Gav?
I'm doing great, Matty. I'm super excited for today's show. Team, you guys have a lot of questions specifically about the charts, what's going on with your favorite altcoins. We're going to get into that all today. But first, become a Crypto Charge member. Click the link in the pinned comment below. You can check out our website where we do crypto education on the daily. You definitely want to check that out. But also under that, shop.cryptocharge.com. Click on that link to get some Crypto Charge swag. But team, please, at the very least, subscribe to this YouTube channel. That greatly helps us grow. But team, on today's show, your questions, your hot takes, all about your favorite altcoins. Matty, are you ready to get into it?
Let's do this.
Abdul Bahari says, Gala $1 in the next bull market?
So we can go ahead and just pull up some of these charts and take a look together here. So Gala is definitely one of the bigger names, especially when it comes to metaverse and gaming. And I do think it's a sector that is going to continue to grow. It's something that definitely needs to mature a bit more. I don't think that we're quite there with adoption of metaverse gaming yet. The games, first of all, need to be a lot better. You need to get people more comfortable with NFT marketplaces. The more NFT marketplaces have to be highly, highly compatible with little barriers to entry for consumers to be able to buy assets, sell them, transfer them, whatever they need to do. So I do see a huge future for it, but I just want you guys to just be aware where we are today. Is it a good idea to be an early investor in this, especially at some of these lucrative prices? Yeah, of course. Just be aware that we're not quite there with the adoption level yet. But we have Gala here, so we'll go ahead and take a look at this. And Gala, boy, has really gotten its teeth kicked in. Over here in the height of 2021, we had the high just under $1, so about 80 cents in here. And actually, when I'm looking at this chart here, this looks eerily similar to the Casper chart. I'm sure you were thinking the same thing looking at this, Gavin, seeing just kind of the huge run up, kind of this, unrealistic prices, and then just this relentless crashing structure. So it crashed down here in 2022 to basically 1.5 pennies, trading around 2.5 pennies right now. And when you have a chart that looks like this, one of my favorite phrases that stuck with me, something my grandfather used to say all the time, is don't step over dollars to pick up pennies, right? I think we're at a point right now where if you're wanting a dollar cost average into this, you're in a good spot to do so. So, again, if we were to even look at the Fibonacci retracement tool here, we're so far away from that 236, which is around 20 cents right now. So really anything under 20 cents from a really big picture, you're saying you believe in Gala long term, under 20 cents is a good deal because the full extension puts us between $1.34 and $3.48, right? So current market price up to even, let's just say we're coming in for a retracement. Let's just say even 50% retracement from current market price. That's about a 15x there. If you're able to get it off that double bottom, we get a retest of the lows here around 1.5 cents to a 50% retrace. It's about a 26x. A full extension will get you, let's see here, over a 200x. So, from a bigger perspective, if you want to hold on to some of this longer term, you see this in this next bull market. I do see $1 or more. It is supported by Fibonacci targets, $1.34 being that first full extension. It's not something I have in my portfolio currently now because I'm very oriented in other DLT specific applications. But I do like Gala out of the metaverse picks as one of the leaders right now.
Matty, quickly right here, if you were to start DCing on Gala today and we're looking for exit targets, what would be your potential 3 exit targets for Gala?
Yeah, so if you wanted to kind of swing trade this kind of on the way up and you're not necessarily looking to hold this throughout all the extensions and you want to kind of reallocate later, you can always look for areas of interest using support and resistance, right? So these are going to be areas where price either has a difficult time breaking below or a difficult time breaking above. And you can see multiple examples of this here. 4.7 cents is an area of interest here. So we're trading around 2.5 right now. So if you were to layer in now, let's say your average ends up being around 2.1, 2.2 cents, you're able to take some profit here around 4.7 cents. You're getting a 2x on your money there. So you could absolutely lighten some of your bag there. Next area of interest where I'd look to lighten my bag would be up here around 7 cents. You guys can see that we had a difficult time breaking above here from June of 22. And again, here in August of 22 was also a floor of support back here in June of 22, as well as October of 21 through November of 21. So 7 cents is another good area of interest. Again, looking at from current market price or so, that's about a 2 or 3x from the current market price, right? So those would be two good areas of interest. The last area of interest outside of these extensions, you can always use any retracement or any extension as a target, would be up here right around 11 cents. You guys can see that this was also an area of interest. A lot of contention here previous to it breaking out much higher, so there'd be 11 cents. So current market price up to about 11 cents. It's about a 350% return. So you guys have multiple opportunities. You can play this a lot of different ways. You could take some profit there, reinvest at a higher low. There's a lot of ways you can play this, but again, these are some of the things we teach you at Crypto Charge, so you can do them on your own.
I think that's a good plan of attack there, Matty, especially for gaming or metaverse token right there. Chris Gunner, Dad, I don't know, man. I say anything under 90 cents is a damn good entry for Matic. Loading up.
So I'm going to guess that this comment was left on a video that I did about Matic, as well as I was talking about Cardano and I was talking about some other assets that I said, hey, there's the fundamental case for this, but then there's also the technicals, right? And there's the charts. And here's what I see across the board. Here's what I see with the way the market is interpreting this SECV Coinbase, SECV Binance news right now, right? Very, very unique pressure on the crypto market. And we kind of saw that spill over a few days after the enforcement action against Coinbase. And Matic's been one of those assets specifically that's held up a lot better than the rest of the altcoin market, is weathered the bear market better than a lot of other assets. Never really went back to retest that 4-cent, 5-cent region that we discussed previously on stream. But this is one of the main reasons why, no matter how fundamentally bullish I am on something, if price seems a little too lofty to me, I just can't in good conscience get invested in that asset. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to mark areas of interest and say, hey, if price were to visit this area, I'm a buyer. I'm interested because I've already done my fundamental research, right? So, and I think this is one of the things that you guys can take away from this episode is, if you're doing research right now in the bear market, and let's say you identify 20 assets, you're not necessarily going to get invested in all of them, and maybe the prices aren't great on all 20 of those assets, but you can start doing fundamental research on all of those assets without being a buyer. And that's sometimes the difficult part for people, is they think, well, I'm only going to buy things that I'm doing research on, but sometimes you don't even know if it's worth buying unless you do the research, right? So start to dig on those fundamentally, and then mark those areas of interest using support and resistance, using Fibonacci's, whatever you want to do. And then if, let's say 5 or 6 of those enter those zones, well, now you already can feel good that you've done the fundamental side of it, and then you can go ahead and just do the buying, right? That's the easy part, is the buying. The difficult part is making sure that you've made the right investment by doing your fundamental and your technical research. So let me show you guys what we did here on Matic. We had, first of all, when price was right around 90 cents, go ahead and turn the lights on here with our moving averages. Price was right around here, around 90 cents, right? We were actually right at this moving average. Let's go ahead and just make this a little bigger for you guys, team. So you guys can see here, we came up on this moving average. This blue line is the 50-week moving average. The green line is the 50-day moving average. You had multiple death crosses in here. So you had a death cross up here, first of all. You had the 50-day crossing over the 100-day. That's in purple here, death cross. You had the 200-day crossed over by the 50-day, another death cross. You had a death cross here, the 50-day crossing under the 50-week. So you had a lot of bearish pressure here. And price was right around 90 cents here. Listen, I get it. If you're a long-term Matic bull, you see it as one of the best layer 2 scaling solutions out there, helping Ethereum along, making those fees a lot cheaper. I understand why you're so bullish. But at the end of the day, when you look out and you take a zoom out on this, right, you can see that this was really quite elevated, right? If we're looking at this from the previous all-time high at 280 down to 90 cents, it's only down like 65%. There's a lot of other altcoins right now that are down 89, 90, 95, 98% right now. And again, I'm not saying you only have to buy things that are down 95%. It just seemed expensive to me in perspective to a lot of other altcoins right now. So I said I'd be interested in the high 30s to low 40s. This ended up wicking down to about, let's go ahead and just grab the exact price here. Go ahead and hover on this candle. We got the low around 50 cents. So we came within about 10 cents shy of my target. I still think we could get there. And the reason for that is you guys can see this magenta line that's only started printing here in February of this year is the 200-week moving average. So it is the largest moving average that I examine on any chart. It represents 200 weeks of aggregated price history. So the average price of Matic for the last 200 weeks has been between 60 cents and most currently around 69 cents. So let's call it between 60 and 70 cents has been the average price, 65 cents for the last 200 weeks. You can see now that we've broken below this level, we are coming and we are starting to test it as a new ceiling of resistance that shows short-term weakness and potentially more short-term bearishness. So again, I do think Matic is one of the best layer 2 solutions out there right now. I think it's going to continue to do really well in this next bull market. But this is where having technical trading comes in to allow you to capitalize on high quality assets at more advantageous prices and reap the biggest reward you possibly can.
James Cart says, still bullish on VeChain?
Bet your ass I'm still bullish on VeChain. Nothing has changed there. And, I think there's a lot of people that change their tunes too quickly on coins because they get invested and like, I didn't do what I thought I was going to do right away and I'm out. And I have rotated out of some of the things that I was invested in dino kind ways like EOS and Bitcoin Cash. And, Bitcoin Cash ended up, doing really, really well recently. I think Zcash is going to do a similar pickup move in the coming days here. But looking at VeChain specifically, I've shown you guys the chart where we've seen the illiquidity wick at $1. VeChain is trading at like a few pennies right now. Even if we were to just fill that wick, that's an enormous reward. That's more that your guys are going to do if you were invested in the Dow Jones for the next 35 years of your life, right? So I want you guys to first of all understand and appreciate the gravity of the opportunity you guys are being presented right now, regardless of what it is, right? VeChain's a really good example of that. XRP, Casper, API3, Zcash, all of these coins that we talk about that have both long-term fundamental and technical cases, right? It's wonderful, but I want you guys to really appreciate the opportunity you have right now, because we probably have less than a year for you guys to load up on all of these assets before we get into some of those parabolas, and then the party's over. Because remember, guys, that bull market lasts maximum 18 months or so. And it's right in that 12 to 18 month period that everybody on Twitter starts telling you one more round, one more time, right? And that's really when it's over, right? So understand that you have a finite window to get prepared, capitalize on it, make sure you capitalize on your profit taking, and then we'll reevaluate next bear market, right? Maybe it'll be more VeChain, maybe it won't be VeChain, but make sure you've taken enough profits so you have the dry powder to reevaluate and reinvest in other things.
D Taylor 760 says, do you think it'll hit, when he says he's talking about Zcash, it'll hit an all-time high with some major exchanges not listing? I have that worry about Gala, but still bullish.
No, I don't have that concern at all. And the main reason for that being is that, there's many examples of assets doing well, seeing big pumps, even when they've been delisted. And actually, XRP is a good example of that, right? So, and I know a lot of people are disappointed with XRP's performance in this last bull run, but it still did about a 16x from its lows. Being delisted on major US exchanges, so basically the only way you could buy it is through a DEX, or you could buy it on an offshore exchange. Those are pretty much your only two outlets, and price still appreciates. Also remember, guys, the United States is not the only place in the world that matters. And I know that we look at ourselves as the superpower, and well, if it's not listed here in the US, we're not going to see volume, we're not going to see new all-time highs. Will it help? Of course. Having millions of people participating in the crypto market here in the US absolutely helps price along. But if there's enough demand for that asset, price will appreciate. You guys also have to remember that, there is market manipulation that goes along with all of this, right? And if there are institutional players that own and invest and partner with these assets, there is very likely going to be price action that follows that, right? So I'm not concerned about Zcash or Gala or anything that I've done deep fundamental analysis on, based on just the number of exchanges that list it, right? Things that are strictly listed on KuCoin have gone absolutely ballistic, right?
Right. Not listed in the US? Buy on KuCoin. Devon Looney says, what's going on with Casper?
A whole lot of building right now, a lot of partnerships, a lot of really exciting stuff. Actually, most recently, Payments Now also just listed Casper as one of their assets. So businesses can actually sign up through their portal, accept Casper as payment directly. So if I wanted to, I could bill somebody and they could pay me in Casper, and then I get that deposited into a wallet. So there's a lot of growth happening on the chain right now. There's upgrades that are continuously being implemented as they're expected to on the roadmap, which is always so important to me. I know hiccups happen. You can never have a 100% hit rate, but seeing the Casper Labs team continue to deliver on that roadmap, continue to make their chain better, do the upgrades, and continue to be in contact with their partners is what continues to make me so bullish on this long term. From a charting perspective, we're trading right around 4 pennies right now. I'm looking at a $1 to $4 price target towards the end of the cycle. I think like somewhere between 350 and 360 is honestly a very realistic target. We've seen Casper move incredibly quickly when it is time to go. Even when we had the run up a few months ago, we saw about like 180% move from the lows on Casper, and it happened quick. It happened in just like a couple weeks. So I can't imagine what the Casper price action is going to look like when we're actually in a bullish period, when the charts are moving in unison in a parabolic manner, right? We could exceed our expectations greatly, but I would be over the moon with a $2 to $4 Casper price point. So that's kind of my overall plan there. I'm still accumulating crazy. Every week I take it off exchange, sweep it into that my ledger, and I obviously stake that up with a delegator, earning 10% APY. You guys can also use this cool calculator. We'll drop that in the links for you guys below to check it out. You guys can actually check out the projected interest you would earn on Casper weekly and yearly based on current interest rates. So make sure you guys are doing that. It's so stupid not to stake it up. You're earning 10% more Casper, and you're not doing anything with it anyway. So that's how I'm taking my approach to Casper right now.
Is Casper the best coin to be buying right now?
It's quickly becoming one of my largest bags. So you guys do with that what you will.
Like surpassing XRP?
I don't think it'll ever surpass XRP. I've just been accumulating XRP for too long now, but Casper is my number 2 holding right now.
Interesting. Maddie, we got a couple minutes here left. Why don't you show the team, give us a little quick analysis. Give us a little taste here.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Casper chart. Go ahead and just pull it up here. Cool. So right now where we're at with Casper, and again, I want you guys to see how quick this run up was, right? You have this boring sideways accumulation. Nothing's really happening in here for 320 days, right? You got a little spike up here towards 5, back down into accumulation. When we actually got this run up, right? Like this run up right here, it was like an 83% move. That happened in like a month, right? It was a very, very quick move here for an 85% gain. Got over these moving averages very, very quickly. Now, currently, we do have a little bit of a death cross here, right? You got the 50-day moving under the 100-day crossing there. We already kind of saw that price depreciation there. Currently holding the 200-day moving average. But again, team, when you look at this chart here, and again, we looked at Gala, right? It looks a lot like the Gala chart. I've shown in previous examples of what Polkadot looks like, what Cadena looked like, and a lot of them have these garbage-looking wicks and multiple new lows that get set, crashing structures that come in. But why did people continue to buy those assets when they looked like that? Because they understood the fundamental case behind it, and they knew that they were buying something at a discount that nobody else saw, right? The bigger thing that I see here is that this is really just one big accumulative structure, right? It's kind of coming into like this rounded bottom. And that's what I think that we're seeing here with Casper. I don't think we take out these lows here. I don't think we break below 2.3 cents. If we do, that's a gift from God and you guys need to capitalize on that. But overall, if we come back down to these levels, I will be cranking up my DCA exponentially, probably 150% of what it is right now. So overall, this looks like textbook accumulation. This was distribution in here. I think we're now seeing accumulation, the opposite of what distribution is. Now, again, like I've talked about previously, doesn't mean that we can't waddle around sideways in here and revisit some of these support levels and then move higher, right? I'm not telling you guys, hey, this is accumulation, price does this immediately, right? We start coming in for this huge retrace. But again, we have candle closes on the daily chart on different exchanges at $3, $3.15, $3.50. Weekly candles around $1.20, $1.18. There's a lot of supporting evidence that shows that there was actual orders and liquidity being executed at those higher prices. And more often than not, especially when you have good quality assets that aren't rug pulls, you're going to see those prices revisited at some point in the future. So I highly recommend you guys, of course, go check out CasperLabs.io, go check out Casper Network. See what they're actually working on, right? Because this is not just, another layer one, because there's so many, hey, this is the new Ethereum killer and this is the new this killer. I can't stand that term. It's disgusting. You should be able to tell me why your project is doing so well and why it's going to be different on its own 2 feet. Of course, you can say, hey, here's what our competitors do and here's how we do it better. But again, I think that Casper has, especially the Casper Labs team, hasn't come out and just said, we're going to do better than Ethereum. Ethereum is Ethereum, right? And people are going to always continue to build on Ethereum. They're going to make their ERC20 tokens. That's fine. I don't think we should be focused on trying to kill Ethereum. It's here to stay. But when we look at what Casper's offering, everything's a smart contract. Everything's an upgradable smart contract, native NFTs. This is everything that anyone could ever possibly want within a single network, right? And having everything super, super affordable, predictable gas fees. So make sure you guys do your own research, check it out. But Casper is my second largest holding right now next to XRP.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed either. I hold like 35% of my crypto holdings is Casper. Not
Let's
ashamed
go.
at all. But listen to this real quick, because Matty showed me something pretty incredible today on our earlier show, on the Crypto Charge Live show that's on our website. If you have Casper and you are not doing this, you are foolish. If you're not staking your Casper, I believe you are foolish. Matty, I know this is just like, spur of the moment right here. Would you please pull up that calculator you showed on today's show earlier today? Because I thought that was awesome, because that the calculator gives me the roadmap of why I'm staking. It gives me like that macro view, which is what we're always trying to do at the end of the day, Matty.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to go to casperstats.io/tool/APY. If you go to casperstats.io, you could probably find it, but that's the full link address. So what you guys can basically do in here is you can select your validator. Some of these validators, these are genuine validators, by the way, charge higher fees. So that's something you got to want to pay attention to, is you don't want to be paying 10% of your rewards. Now it's not, if it's 10% APY, it's 10% of the total rewards received. They're not taking the whole reward from you guys. Want to clarify that. So I use a validator that charges a 1% fee. It's not this particular validator, but we'll select that validator. What you're going to do is you're going to put in the amount of Casper that you have. So let's say you have 250,000 Casper, so 250,000. It's going to show you here you're going to earn 26,000 Casper in a year, or 2,000 Casper a month, 540 a week, and 71 per day. And the important mentality that I have when I see these numbers is, people look at it and go, oh, 71 Casper per day. It's trading at 4 pennies. It's trading at 3 pennies. It's trading at 5 pennies. I want you guys to put yourself in the shoes of a bull market, right? Imagine that you're not going to be touching this Casper. You're not going to be doing anything with it. Your goal is to accumulate as much as possible while we're in this accumulative phase, while we're below 5, 6, 7 cents, right? And you're picturing yourself sitting at your computer, selling it for $1, selling it for $2, selling it for $3, selling it for $4, right? each one of those Casper is worth $1, $2, $3, or $4, right? So we're talking about 26, 50,000, 70,000, 100,000 extra dollars worth of profit that you didn't pay anything for. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys how I approach this and the mentality behind it. And I see it as so much more valuable than just what today's price is, because I genuinely believe in this project both fundamentally, and I think this technical chart is going to look so different 18 months from now.
Do this with your Casper. Do not miss out. That's my side. Matty's like, not financial advice. Do it with your Casper. It's foolish not to, you know.
Right.
But we gotta stay protected, right, Matty? But
Absolutely.
Team, that is all we have for today. Matty, anything to leave the team with? Any words of wisdom?
Just stay focused, guys. Don't feel like, when we get in this next bull run, you got to buy every project. Stick with what you've got now. If you find 1 or 2 new gems, great. Make sure you have money allocated for that. Don't deviate from your DCAs that you have existing to buy that new project. I think it's important that you stick with the plan. If you don't have a plan, join us at cryptocharts.com. We have a Discord community. We've got 5 live shows a week. We're here to get you guys on track if you guys aren't on track.
Gospel. All right, team, that's all we have for today. We will catch you guys next time. See ya.